I could tell that Jack was different. And just the, obviously when I was able to wrestle at the collegiate level, when I would come into a high school, wrestling with me, you kind of have to adjust, and you become a teacher. But with Jack, it was a battle even for me to come in and see a guy that was that dedicated and that hardworking. And we would have some pretty intense matches in our own practice room. So if you could survive in that practice room, you're going to do pretty good outside the practice room. And that's how it did with Jack. I would like to believe that that Coach Schwartz or Frank had a lot to do with the success that Jack had, and he instilled that in me, and we were able to work with Jack and make him kind of a collegiate wrestler at the high school level.
When we wrestled Winter Park, and he loaded up his whole varsity team, and we had 9th and 10th graders, and Reynolds was there, and the gym was packed. It was our first match, and we lost 52-2. We got one tie. I remember it was a Christmas party that night, and I went to the party, and Reynolds came up to me and goes, is that going to be what it's going to be like? We didn't win a match. So we developed that year, and then they became juniors that next year. And the main reason we were real successful was Jack Likens. Jack came, and it was like having a third coach. He was very knowledgeable. We just taught him to be mean and tough, and because he knew the moves. And he actually became a state champ. He was White Mary's first state champ his junior year.
I was a wrestler with him. He was a junior at the time that I was coming in as a freshman, and my very first indoctrination into the sport of wrestling was to go up against him in a wrestle-off. We have to do a wrestle-off to see who wrestles varsity and who wrestles JV, right? And Jack knew right away that whoever his opponent was going to be that night, he knew he was going to be the varsity guy. I was pretty sure that he just needed a warm-up act. And so when we wrestled, he used me just as a pure rag. It destroyed me. And I really questioned whether I was going to be cut out to even do a sport. Here, 20, 25 pounds lighter than probably the state's best wrestler by far and large. But what it did for me is it helped to develop a sense of respect, team, camaraderie, commitment. I didn't win that match, but what was really neat about Jack is that he would take the time to help educate you, to teach you, to show you the ways. He was an educator from the very start, and it left an indelible impression upon me that when I got to his level of superiority on the wrestling mat, that the new people coming in, I would then take them as individuals that I can help tutor and show and demonstrate along the way. It was the very beginning of the seeds that would help me become a coach in other sports as well.
Jack was a great leader as Frank and I were trying to build a wrestling program like we had done at Lake Howell and make it the best. We needed someone to be a great leader, and that's what Jack Likens was. He was fun to practice with, and because he was always working so hard at every practice, it was work for him. He came and we were in there for 2 hours. He was working hard for 2 hours. And when you get those special kind of athletes that have that drive, it took them to high places. And one of those is the state championships. Not only a conference champion, a district champion, a region champion, he was the first returning state champion as well.